Another lesson is that money is no respecter of persons. You guys, when these people were all trapped in one room, you would see the 20-year-olds were in there, the 40-year-olds, the old, the young, like everybody was there. So if you believe that you can make money when you're still young, go ahead and make the money. If you know that, no matter what, age is just a number, when you all make your money. And also, when you're still young, don't waste your life and think that I'll make the money when I'm like 40 years and above, or from 30 and above. Now I'm still 20. I just have to, play with my money, like misuse. I cannot invest now. That is wrong. Money is no respect of persons. If you apply the right principles and the right laws of money, money will just respect you accordingly. If you invest well, you get the benefits. If you don't, you will also reap the benefits. So money, for it just respects whoever at whatever age applies its laws and the principles. So learn that even when you're still young. And even if like you're maybe thinking that I'm now 50 years old, I'm above 40, what can I do? Hey, there's still time. You can still make some things right. You can still make your crooked paths right, and do the right thing, and everything will just change for you. Your challenges will go away if you apply the right principles and the right laws when it comes to money. You're welcome to Yvonne Winifred, my beautiful people. Today I just want us to talk about the money lessons from the Squid Game series. If you've never watched the series, you should, because it is more than entertaining. There is a lot to learn from this series. So season 2 was released last year around Christmas time, and I believe most of the people have watched it. If you haven't yet, we are not going to spoil a lot for you, but you should. And I realized also that most of the people have not watched season 2 just because I think the first 2 episodes bored them. But I tell you guys, I assure you that from the 3rd episode, the series are so interesting and you learn a lot from this series. That's why today I am here to share with you what I learned. And if you've watched season 2, please share with me also. Remember, it is more than entertainment. There's a lot to learn, and today I am here to share with you as you share with me in the comment section. So let us start with lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is that be aware of the get rich quick schemes, the pawn schemes. Always think through whatever you are promised. At least talk to someone about it. Sometimes you're getting into danger without knowing, or you might think that this is my secret, I shouldn't tell anyone about it, yet you are going into your own death. So before anybody promises you about anything that needs you to maybe invest a little money so that you get much, or anything that requires you to just avail yourself and then you will get so much money, most of such are scams. They are just get rich quick schemes. You don't really get what you're looking for, or most of it is lies. So be aware of that always. Number 2 is money is not always being the key term. Money is not always the solution, no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. In most cases, money is so important, guys, but in most cases, money is not always the solution. Sometimes you need maybe wisdom. Sometimes you need a skill. Sometimes you need the right application of the wisdom that you have, the knowledge, the skill, or the little money that you have, so that you are out of this danger, out of this challenge or any problem, instead of thinking that you really need so much money. So always remember that. Next also is that you should always teach your children about money. Otherwise, it will backfire on you. In the series, we see a lady, you know, she had also gone to play the game so that she wins the money. Reaching there, she realizes that even her son is also in the same, what should I say, in the same problem. Like they are all um, trapped. They are all in the same trap. Maybe if she knew something, if she taught her son better ways of managing money. Or like in most cases we forget our children as we are going through money challenges, and we learn different lessons. No matter how old your kids are, please teach them the lessons that you learn on the way, so that when they grow they will help you, instead of you um, leaving them to learn the money skills in school or anywhere else or out of experience. If you learn anything about money, teach your children, teach your cousins, teach your sisters, brothers, teach everybody around you, teach your nieces, your nephews about, money skills, how to manage money, how to save, where to invest, how to manage debt, how to, you know do everything as
when it comes to money.
lesson number 4 is that always teach people how to make the money instead of just getting the money and you give it to them. Teach them how to fish than just giving them the fish, because in most cases they are going even to just misuse the money you give them, or they are just, like, a lot happens when you just give somebody money, when that somebody cannot really manage money, when that somebody doesn't know the principles that govern money. So if you've made some good money and you know how to make money, manage money, to save, to invest, to do all these things, why not, if somebody comes to you and asks for money or asks for a loan or whatever, you at least give them a few lessons, like give them the knowledge. In most cases, before you give them that money, tell them, teach them a few principles of money that you may have used to acquire a lot of money that you have now. Like they've come to you to get the money, maybe you have more than them. Teach them that you know more. Teach them the skills, the knowledge that you have, instead of giving them maybe loans or just, giving them money so that, they start a business, or that, like in most cases, even you should always ask people when they come to you. I know some can lie, but if somebody comes to you for money, ask for the reason they are going to use that money for, because you might help them. In most cases, as I've said, it's not the money that they need. Maybe they need something else, but in their heads they think that they need the money. So always teach someone near you. Is it your coworker, your subordinate, your anybody? Whenever you get a chance, teach somebody about the money principles, the laws that govern money, so that, we make this world a better place to live in. Next is that, if possible, try and pay everything in cash. Always ask yourself before buying anything, before going for a loan, whether something that you really need this loan for, is it really a want or is it a need? Is it adding to you, or it is just, like something that is going to be there as a liability? Is it an asset to you? And also, like, isn't there any other way except from getting a loan, except from going for debt, that you can use to acquire this something that you really want to have or want to do? Maybe it is a business, maybe you just want to buy a car. Can't you maybe get a second-hand car than getting a new car with a loan? Such things. Like, what are you going to use this car for? Maybe there are better options. You can use a second-hand car. I was told that out of 100, 70% in most cases, you don't need that loan that you're going for. You don't need the debt that you're going for. I'm talking about debt because we see that most of these people got into this trap just because of debt. You would see somebody at 25 years, 24 years with a debt of over 300 million won. I was like, how can a 22-year-old have a debt of over 300 million? I don't know their rate according to dollars or shillings, but like a 21-year-old has a debt of over 45 million. Like, what did you use that money for? Yes, I know in the Western world most of the transactions run on credit, but still, you're still young, you don't have a lot to use that money for, but just because the system has provided this, you're misusing it. So always before you get a debt, always before you borrow money, before you go for that loan, ask yourself, and there are other ways that I can get, or that I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. And there are other ways that I can start this business without loans, without debt. Avoid debt as much as you can, as much as possible. Next, also, is that as the world keeps on changing, be aware of the games you play. Be aware of the games you play. Be aware of whatever people you into to do. Like, you don't know where you're going. Somebody just gives you a card. Somebody just promises you some money. Somebody just, like promises you something, and you're ready to risk your life to go. Like, be aware of the games you play. Sometimes you don't know what you're going for, and your life is just going to end like that. Sometimes it is too good to be true, and vice versa. So always think through before you decide. Next lesson is that for the sake of your life, always listen to advice that is not going to put your life in danger. Listen to advice that has less risks, or talk to somebody before you just decide to do something. At least acquire knowledge, at least research about anything you promised, research about the different games you're going to play, research, go to Google, use Google so that you find out who really is promising you what, and has this ever worked for anybody that you know. If you don't get enough and legit information out of your research, in most cases, leave it. Don't be too ambitious, don't be greedy. You will just get yourself into more problems, into more challenges, into more issues than maybe you were in. So listen to advice that saves your life, that doesn't put your life in danger. Don't be stubborn when you're advised. Also, I realized that money really seems so important to the people who don't have it. But when it comes to those who have gotten it, the people that have seen some good money, they know that it is not all that. The solution is not more important. They know that there are more other things that are even more important than money. Yes, money is vital, very, very vital. Money can't buy happiness always, but in most cases, it gives you the freedom to enjoy whatever you want. So you really need the money, but don't be over ambitious. Don't be greedy.
In Squid Game, the winner of season 1,
You see that he used a little of the money and he kept the rest away for some time. We see that he starts to use the money maybe in season 2, because like sometimes the money is there, but you remember the things that you've lost. You've lost your wife, like you've lost your mother, you've lost your child, just because of this money. And now it is here and you don't even want it. You feel like it is useless. you know Sometimes weigh everything, like gauge everything. Is it the time with your loved ones that you need, or is it the much money that you need? So like, live when you're balancing things. Don't over be on one side. Like, balance everything. Have time with your family, have time with your loved ones, spend some quality time with your loved ones, with your family, and also go out and make the money. But don't overspend your time making the money and you neglect your health, you neglect your family, you neglect yourself, your mental health also, just because you want to be very rich. Next lesson is that don't just trust anybody. Don't just trust anybody when it comes to your life, your property, your money, your decision making. Don't just trust anybody. Somebody cannot just come from nowhere and promises you something beautiful and you just follow. Do you know where they are taking you? Do you know what they do? Do you know the results of where you're going? Do you know the repercussions of everything? Don't just trust anybody. Don't trust schemes. Don't trust different. You know what? Don't even trust things that your friends take you to do. Like, don't trust different organizations that just come, like maybe to your community, and they promise you many beautiful things, and you're not really aware of them. You're not sure, the risk is too much, and then you just go for. Don't just trust anybody, be it your parents, your sister. Don't just trust anybody. Do your own research and decide from there. If it is too risky, drop it. If your life is really threatened, drop that. And like, no matter what, you want to be poor forever. No matter what, you want to be in debt forever. um Use some other better means that are not too risky. I know everything is risky, but not very, very risky. Risk even to your own life. Why would you lose your life just because you want to acquire a lot of money, and then you just die without even getting that money? You leave your parents, your children suffering just because you were not careful. Then the last lesson, this might sound controversial compared to those first lessons, but never judge people who are in debt. Never judge people who make mistakes with their monies. Sometimes, experience is the best teacher. Sometimes they have to experience that to learn. And also sometimes they are going through a lot, that they make those weird decisions. They go into traps that they didn't plan to. So don't judge people who are too much into debt. Don't judge people who are in poverty. Don't just judge people. Sometimes they are threatened by loan sharks. Sometimes it is ignorance. Sometimes it is, pregnancy, health issues, surgery. Somebody wants money for surgery, maybe for their child or their parent, and they will go through anything to get that money so that their loved one goes through the surgery, or like, to save their loved ones. So when you see somebody, maybe they lose their assets just because they went through debt or they went for loans, don't just judge them. Listen to their story, learn what you can learn, and also guide in cases where you can, or teach somebody, better money management skills, and help whenever you can. But don't just judge anybody just for just. People are going through a lot. People are ignorant. People, like, there's a lot of challenges in this world. So with that, I think I should be seeing you in any of my other videos. If you've watched the series, maybe season 1 or season 2, comment below, tell me what you learned. I also want to learn from you. Those are the few that I learned. I couldn't give much examples from the series just because I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't watched the series. But what I can tell you, if you've not watched, you just go ahead and watch the series. You're going to learn a lot. Get a book and pen and write whatever you're learning. Write whatever you're learning, because you guys, there's a lot of money issues, money challenges, money problems all over the world. We all need to learn more and more about money for the betterment of the world. Otherwise, see you soon. Thanks for watching up to the end.